The Scarf of Kunbatar summary of episode 10. Elena briefly returned to Kunbatar, older and distant, unrecognizable from the girl he had loved. Arseny witnessed her without interaction, realizing that some reunions do not heal, they only deepen the ache of what could never be. The scarf remained his only companion, a symbol of memory, grief, and enduring love. This is the true story of one of our viewers' family members. Episode 11, The Last Winter arrived early that year, thick and merciless, blanketing the village in layers of white that reflected the stillness of Arseny's world. The mountains rose like sentinels, cold and indifferent, their peaks hidden behind clouds heavy with snow. Arseny, now frail and bent with age, felt the weight of each passing year pressing into his bones. The scarf remained wrapped tightly around his shoulders, its fraying threads a testament to decades of devotion and endurance. He carried it everywhere through the narrow village streets, across frozen streams, along ridges where the wind cut through him like a blade. It had been his companion through betrayal, through grief, through isolation, and now through the slow fading of life itself. He walked in silence most days, leaving the village only to wander into the mountains where no one would see him. The wind howled around him, whispering secrets he could not understand, stirring memories of a past that was at once vibrant and cruelly out of reach. Each breath he took was shallow, each step deliberate, for his body no longer obeyed as it had once done. Evenings were the hardest. He would sit by the dying fire in his small home, staring at the flames and pressing the scarf to his chest, imagining Elena's presence in the flickering light. He spoke to her as if she were there, as if the years could be undone, as if the silence between them could be broken. "I am here," he whispered. "I have always been here. And still I wait, though I know you will not return." The village moved on around him, oblivious to the small tragedies of an old shepherd who had loved too deeply. Children played in the snow, merchants traveled to distant towns, and the world continued its relentless motion, indifferent to a man who had carried the weight of lost love for decades. Arseny's days were now measured not in tasks or duties, but in survival of body and memory. Each meal he ate was simple, each fire stoked with deliberate care, each night endured with only the scarf and the ghost of Elena for company. He had grown accustomed to this rhythm, yet each evening brought the same hollow ache in his chest, the same reminder of what he had lost and could never reclaim. He remembered the first winter after her betrayal, when grief had felt like a living thing pressing down upon him. And now, so many years later, the winter returned with the same weight, a cruel echo of all that had passed. Snow drifted into his home through the gaps in the roof, dusting the floor like powdered memory. He watched it silently, thinking of her, of the way she had walked away, of the brief return years later, and of the lifetime of longing in between. His health was failing. Each step up the mountains felt heavier, each night colder, and each day a reminder that time was finite. Yet he clung to the scarf, pressing it to his lips, inhaling the scent that had become a part of him. In that fabric, he found both comfort and torment, a tangible piece of the past, yet a reminder of all he could not change. He spoke aloud often, conversations carried on into the empty room, addressed to memories rather than living souls. "I have lived, Elena," he whispered one night, his voice trembling. "I have endured winters, betrayals, solitude. I have carried our love through decades, and still I remain. Can you hear me? Can you remember?" No answer came, except the soft crackle of the fire and the moan of the wind outside. The silence was complete, absolute, yet it did not diminish the intensity of his devotion. If anything, it sharpened it, making every memory brighter, every loss more acute. The scarf became more than a companion, it became a lifeline, a physical manifestation of all that he could not speak. Its threads carried the weight of promises and stolen moments, the echoes of laughter and tears. the imprints of a love that had survived betrayal and decades of isolation. He held it as he had held nothing else in his life, pressing it against his chest until he could feel it as part of himself. In the final weeks of winter, he stopped venturing far from home. His legs ached, his breath grew short, and the world seemed increasingly distant. Yet he remained awake with the memory of Elena, speaking to her in whispers that carried across the small, cold room. "I have waited my whole life," he said one night, holding the scarf tightly. "I have endured, I have loved, and I have not forgotten you, not for one single day." Even as he felt the chill of mortality pressing upon him, Arseny did not waver in his devotion. His love had been tested, betrayed, and challenged by the passing years, yet it had never faltered. He carried it to the very edge of life, a testament to the endurance of the human heart, even in the face of despair and solitude. The villagers noticed less and less of him as time passed. Only the scarf remained visible in the snow and wind, a silent companion to a man whose life had become entirely interior, devoted to memory, grief, and love unfulfilled. And you, listener, must understand what it means to carry a lifetime of devotion and loss, to hold on to a love that has been tested by betrayal, by time, and by silence. Arseny's final winter is not merely a season of cold, it is the culmination of decades spent in shadows. The enduring weight of a heart that refused to let go. Please wait for the next episode. This journey has only begun.